Tonight, you'll probably pick up your phone one more time. And somewhere inside, it lives a technology that 900 million people now talk to every single week, like a coworker. Some of those people now earn over 60% more money because of it. Others lost their jobs because of it. And here's the crazy part. Science can now predict pretty accurately who ends up on which side. It's not talent, not age, not even computer skills. It comes down to one single thinking error, and it's probably hiding in you too. But before you get nervous, let's look back for a second. Because this fear, we've had it before. And one economist actually counted what machines have really done over 70 years. His name, James Bessen. He went through all 270 or so occupations listed in the American census of 1950, and he asked how many of them were truly wiped out by machines. The answer, exactly one. The elevator operator, one single job out of 270. And even that one held on stubbornly. Automatic elevators existed around 1900, but for decades, people refused to step into a cabin without a human inside. And then came the ATM, the machine that was supposed to take the bank teller's job once and for all. When it showed up in the 70s, everyone agreed. This is the end of the bank teller, a machine doing exactly their core job. Here's what actually happened, and Bessen counted it. Each branch needed 13 tellers instead of 21. But because branches got cheaper to run, banks opened 43% more branches. In 1985, the US had 485,000 bank tellers. By 2002, after hundreds of thousands of new machines, it was 527,000. More, not fewer. The machine took over counting cash. The human took over advising people. And yes, before you type it in the comments, from the 2000s and 10s onward, the numbers did go down. But not because of ATMs, because of the smartphone, which made walking into a branch unnecessary altogether. Remember this difference. It matters in a minute. A machine that takes over part of your work usually makes you more valuable. A machine that takes over all of it replaces you, which is why today isn't all sunshine either. The CEO of Salesforce, one of the biggest software companies in the world, said it openly in 2025. He cut his customer support from 9,000 down to about 5,000 people because AI now answers half of all requests. That's real. That's happening. But here comes the part almost nobody talks about. The very same studies also show way too wins in this shift, and that answer surprised even the researchers. Let's start with the thinking error. In 1988, two researchers from Harvard and Boston, William Samuelson and Richard Zeckhauser, proved something they called status quo bias. People stick with the old, even when the new is demonstrably better for them, not out of stupidity, out of self-protection, because soon after, Daniel Kahneman and his colleagues showed why. A possible loss feels about twice as heavy to your brain as an equal gain. So this new technology could hurt me automatically outweighs it could help me. Your brain plays it safe and calls it common sense. And with machines, there's an extra twist. In 2015, 3 researchers at the University of Pennsylvania found a pattern they named algorithm aversion. The moment people see a machine make one mistake, they stop trusting it. Even when the machine demonstrably outperforms every human. We forgive a coworker 100 mistakes. We don't forgive a machine a single one. Sound familiar? I tried it once. It gave me nonsense. That exact sentence is deciding careers right now. Because now look at what happens to the people who stick with it. Researchers from Stanford and MIT, led by Eric Brynjolfsson, tracked 5,179 call center agents who were given an AI assistant. Result, on average, 14% more cases solved per hour. But the average isn't the point. The beginners got 34% better. The veterans, almost zero. The machine had learned from the best and was now whispering their tricks to the newcomers. Same pattern at MIT. 444 professionals, real writing tasks, published in the journal Science. 40% faster and better with AI. And the weakest writers gained the most. And at the consulting firm, BCG, 758 consultants, a quarter faster, 40% higher quality, with the below average consultants improving by 43%. Do you see what that means? this tool doesn't make the stars stronger. It lifts the normal people, people like you and me. The consulting firm PwC analyzed around 1 billion job postings. People with proven AI skills now earn over 50% more in the same job, and rising. In 2026, it was already 62%. But the same research also found a trap, one that snaps shut on the smart ones of all people. When researchers gave the BCG consultants a task the AI could not solve, but where it sounded convincing, this happened. Without AI, 84% of consultants got it right. With it, only about 60%. The machine gave a wrong answer, but it sounded so good that smart people switched off their own thinking. One researcher calls this falling asleep at the wheel. In an experiment with 181 recruiters, the ones with the better AI made the worst decisions because they stopped looking for themselves. And in the summer of 2025, one study even showed experienced programmers were 19% slower with AI, while firmly believing they had gotten 20% faster. So blind trust is just as dangerous as refusal. Then what's the right way? The answer came from a chess tournament 20 years ago, and it might be the most important story in this video. In 2005, a chess platform hosted a tournament with open rules. Anyone could enter, human, computer, or both together. On the board, grandmasters with supercomputers, and a team called Zax, Stephen Crampton and Zachary Stephen, 2 amateur chess players from New Hampshire. Club-level strength. Their equipment, 3 completely ordinary computers. And then they won the tournament, against grandmasters, against supercomputers. How? They knew their 3 programs inside out. They knew when each one goes wrong, when to step in, and when to let go. Garry Kasparov, the greatest chess player of his era, summed up the lesson. A weak human with a machine and a better process beats a strong human with a machine and a poor process. It's not the strongest tool that wins, it's the best way of using it. And that is exactly what you can learn, not in a computer science degree, at your ordinary desk starting tomorrow. 3 things. First, start small, but start. Pick one task that comes back every week, the summary, the email, the spreadsheet, and do it together with AI for 30 days, not 10 things. 1. Studies across hundreds of companies show most AI projects don't fail because of the technology. They fail because nobody turns it into a routine. Second, the centaur rule. Like in chess, the draft, the research, the first attempt, that's for the machine. The judgment, the context, the decision, that stays you. Third, check it, especially when the answer sounds particularly convincing. Remember the consultants. The most dangerous moment isn't when the machine looks dumb, it's when it looks brilliant. And in case you think the train has already left, in 2026, researchers measured how much of what AI could theoretically do is actually being used. Even in the most technical jobs in the world, barely a third. 2/3 of the road still lies ahead of all of us. You're not late, you're early. Maybe you've been following this topic with a knot in your stomach. That's okay. Your brain is just doing what it was built for, protecting you. But now you know what the fear didn't tell you. AI doesn't take people's jobs. People who learn to use it do. And nothing in the world is stopping you from becoming one of them. Know someone who's still hesitant about AI, or someone who loves stories like this? Send this video their way. It might be exactly the nudge they need right now. And if you want more of this, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Because next time we're looking at a force no reasoning can resist. Why do we fall in love? Why does your brain switch off everything you just learned about smart decisions? The answer will surprise you. I'm Poppy. Thanks for watching.